Hi everyone, my name is Chandler Hunt. I've been a senior broker with Expat Insurance for 6 years. Today, I'm going to be covering international comprehensive health insurance. So when you're living abroad, there's going to be a lot of different comprehensive insurance policies with a lot of different benefits. Each policy is going to have a different match and a different fit. But I think one of the most important aspects before you're choosing a policy with benefits is to really identify what makes a good insurer. So the first thing I'd like to identify is, what makes a good insurer is essentially the AM Best rating. So this is a rating that's going to really take a look at financial solvency, how strong the insurer is, how their ability is to pay out claims. And you can usually look at this from the AM Best rating. I like to look at insurance companies that are usually a B++ or higher. The next aspect I'd like to look at is financial stability of the insurer. How much actual capital does this insurance company have? Are they large? Are they small? Again, if it's a very small insurance company with small financial capital, this might be kind of a bad sign, as they may increase insurance rates time after time, or if they do run into some sort of financial difficulty, they may have actual trouble paying out claims. So I like to see first, what is the actual financial solvency of the insurer, and do they have any sort of reinsurance? For anyone who doesn't know what reinsurance is, this is essentially financial backing for an insurance company in case there is something that does go wrong. The third aspect I like to look at is actual location of the insurance company. Now, depending on where you live at, this can really play into a very important part when it actually comes time to making a claim or needing actual service provided by the insurance company. So, for example, a lot of people really like to go with a more global and larger insurance company, and while they are great companies overall, sometimes they may be lacking the local expertise when it comes to, again, paying out a claim or trying to resolve a certain problem or situation in that area. And the fourth and last aspect I like to look at when choosing a good insurer is, what exactly is their client experience? So, for example, in Latin America, some of our better insurers we work with, you're actually able to contact them on WhatsApp 24/7. Another thing to look at is, are these insurance companies really utilizing some of the latest technology? That's a very good sign, meaning that they're evolving and investing a lot into client experience, which will help when you're trying to resolve an issue or a claim down the road. So now that we've been able to identify a very good insurer, next we're going to jump into, what exactly does international comprehensive health insurance coverage look like? Now, what I consider comprehensive coverage is a plan that covers both inpatient and outpatient. Now, inpatient is defined as any time you are actually admitted into a hospital. So, for example, if you were to have a heart attack, these sort of claims can easily exceed $100,000. Where outpatient, for example, is going to be any time you need to go in for some sort of scheduled surgery or procedure. Cancer, for example, is some of the most expensive claims that we often do see. I personally have dealt with a claim at our brokerage that exceeded $600,000 in 1 year due to cancer. So outpatient coverage, I think, is actually almost more important in many situations than inpatient coverage. So this will definitely be considered comprehensive coverage. So when choosing comprehensive coverage, it's very important to have inpatient and outpatient 100% coverage. I usually recommend a minimum amount of $1 million per year in coverage, as well as the plan having no sort of co-insurance or any sort of out-of-pocket expense. Many local Latin insurers, typically the way that they'll structure their plan is they'll have an actual deductible that will be per medical event, as well as co-insurance. When you start to actually make claims over time, these expenses can start to add up. So let's say in the course of a year, for example, you have a broken leg, you then have a heart attack, and you then unfortunately are diagnosed with cancer. This person is really not having a good year. In this situation, he's going to have to pay the deductible 3 different times during that year, as well as potentially a 10% co-insurance on top of that. So we could be looking at easily in excess of $50,000+ for these 3 different events. One of the best part of our comprehensive plans is we usually have a deductible on an annual basis only. Additionally, we do not have any sort of co-insurance or any copay at all. Lastly, I'd like to talk about waiting periods. With Latin-based policies, a lot of the times you could be looking at anywhere from a 1 to 2 year waiting period for very common illnesses such as cardiovascular, breast-related illnesses, or something as simple as gallstones. Whereas with our plans, we only have a 30-day waiting period for all illnesses, and during those 30 days, you are covered for any sort of accidents and infectious diseases. This 30-day waiting period can also be waived if you have any sort of prior insurance coverage. A second aspect I like to look at in comprehensive health insurance is typically maternity benefits. If you are a young family coming down here and you're looking to actually start a family abroad, maternity benefits are very important. Now, in Latin America, as an example, births typically can go anywhere from $2,000 to possibly $3,000 for the natural birth, maybe even including a C-section. Overall, this is a very low expense. However, the biggest thing you want to insure yourself against are possible pregnancy complications. These can easily exceed $100,000 in certain situations. Our comprehensive plans are very well rounded to be able to cover any sort of medical complications during the pregnancy and the birth. One of the third aspects of comprehensive coverage I like to also look at are medications and prescriptions. A lot of our plans have access to very low discounted medications, as well as giving you an annual limit of the amount that you can use towards medications. So, for example, one of our comprehensive plans actually has an annual limit of $30,000 per year for medications. Now, even in the United States, this could be looked at as a very high limit for very common medications such as high blood pressure, any sort of antidepressant, or if you're taking maybe something to prevent diabetes such as metformin. Some of our carriers also have the ability to ship medications abroad if it's not available in your local area. We had one client during the pandemic who actually was taking antidepressant and ran out of the medication over a 2-week period. He was not able to access this because the country had actually run out of the chemicals during the COVID pandemic. However, he was able to utilize our service and was able to actually import the drug into Mexico, where he was able to receive it in a very timely manner. Another big benefit of a lot of our comprehensive plans, and what I like to consider comprehensive insurance, is going to be maybe some sort of deductible waiver. Some of our plans even have sort of a travel assistance actually built into the plan itself. What is travel assistance? This is typically a rider. It's almost a travel policy on top of the originating policy. So let's say, for example, you're traveling outside of your resident country. Let's say it's Mexico and you're taking a trip to Costa Rica, and you're to get in an accident or have some sort of food poisoning. A lot of the times, this rider will actually waive your deductible and give you up to a certain limit to receive treatment or care. So again, it's almost sort of like a travel policy on top of your current policy already. And lastly, one of the best benefits of having a comprehensive policy is having free choice to any sort of hospital and doctor in the world. Now, with a lot of Latin-based plans, for example, that are just to the local region, when you're buying these policies, they really are very discriminatory towards very certain local hospitals. Now, one of the worst situations you would want to run in is if you do have some sort of a rare cancer or situation and you want to go to a top-tier hospital, but you do not have access to that. Again, with a really comprehensive plan, you do have access to a free choice of hospital or doctors that you can see anytime, anywhere, or any place in the world. Now, a lot of people are going to be wondering, what is the cost of comprehensive health insurance? Now, if you're in your early 20s to 30s, the average price you're going to be looking at could be anywhere from $100 to $200 per month. Whereas in your late 50s to 60s, it could be anywhere from $300 to $400 a month. Now, in reality, when you look at this price, it may sound like a lot, but it's actually a very great value for the benefits that you are receiving. So, to summarize, what do we consider a comprehensive international health insurance policy? Typically, it's going to cover 100% inpatient and outpatient. Usually, we're going to want to have to include maternity benefits that do cover complications, as well as prescription medications. If you have any more questions on comprehensive international health insurance, feel free to schedule a free consultation with the link in the description below. Thanks for watching.